Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, Taurus will be in front of us to Celtic cross spread as always, and also pull the Four Agreements and Wisdom of the Oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off our rolling those astrology guys we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. We have 11. So 11th house energy for you guys is Pisces, and yeah, there's quite a bit going on there. The time of recording this, we haven't had Saturn start direct motion yet, but it's going to do that on the 27th of November, and then also Neptune's in Pisces as well, and it's going to start direct motion around the 10th of December. So quite a bit of shifting going on there. And 11th house in general points to friendships, hopes, and wishes and groups. All right, we have your sign coming up. So yeah, could just be saying you might be putting more of a focus on yourselves this month, working on what goals you want to work on, things along those lines there. And to go along with what we were just talking about when we were talking about the 11th house energy, we see Neptune here as well. So yeah, so like I said, Neptune's currently retrograde, but it'll start a direct cycle on the 10th of December. And so yeah, if there's been maybe a little bit of a lack of clarity around that area of life, you might start to feel that improve as we get later into the month of December. All right, we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy, and challenging that, we have the King of Wands, Leo energy. So I can see this playing out a couple different ways. One way could just be saying that, maybe there's some work responsibilities that are coming up for you guys, but the challenge is you've already dedicated your time to spending it with family this month. So, that could be where the challenge is there. For others of you, this could just be saying that there might be an offer coming your way as well, but the challenge is, you're going to try to refrain from reacting on it because you might have a feeling that they could offer you something better. So you might just feel like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good and all, but it's not really enough to move me from where I'm at right now. In the foundation position, we have Justice, so Libra energy here. So yeah, so ultimately this looks like this is saying that whatever the situation is, it looks like you're being called to try to find a balance there, right? So like I said, if it's one of those things where something comes up at work, which you're like, oh, I already dedicated time to family, maybe it's just saying, see if you can find some kind of a balance there, right? Where you don't have to sacrifice either of the two, but just try to figure out a way to incorporate both of them into your plans. And same thing where, yeah, like we said, if you feel like an offer coming your way isn't as good as it could be, and maybe it's saying, yeah, maybe you should do what you need to do to ensure that it's balanced there as well. All right, in the past position, we have the Death card. So yeah, so whatever the situation is, it looks like something that you might have thought was already done and over with, right? You might have thought, oh, the opportunity passed, or whatever the case may be. And, sounds like textbook Mercury retrograde energy, right? Which we're currently dealing with. And it's, even in your 7th house of relationships right now too. So yeah, in partnerships. So it could just be saying maybe something that you thought at the time wasn't going to get off the ground or was already over with, could just be resurfacing at this time. In the present position, we have the 6 of Cups. So yeah, so that looks like something that is from your past. It looks like it's being presented in a better way now, right? So maybe even if this was how things felt within that partnership in the past, and if things turned sour at a certain point, it looks like things are moving back in that positive direction at this time. Or this could just even just be pointing to the passage of time, saying that, yeah, maybe this is something that took a long time to get here, but it finally is, but it seems to have some connection to your past either way. In the near future position, we have the Page of Wands. So yeah, so this looks like this is saying that ultimately you will decide that you do want to move around the situation. So it looks like you're going to end up being a little bit more flexible than it might have appeared in the beginning. So yeah, maybe it's as simple as they come with the initial offer, doesn't match up with what you were looking for. They come back, with a little bit more to sweeten the deal, and then that could be what finally makes you decide to move forward with it. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Nine of Pentacles, so Virgo energy here. So yeah, this could just be saying that maybe this is part of why you felt like you were in that position, right? Because with the Nine of Pentacles, you're pretty close to the top anyway. So it's like, unless this is something that really seems worth my time, I'm okay to just let it pass, right? And then for others of you, or like I said, if this is a matter of trying to find a way to incorporate, okay, well, I'm supposed to be spending time with family, but this work thing came up, could just be as simple as saying, we see the way that bird's on her hand there. It could just be saying something as simple as where you're like, okay, well, look, I already planned to have this time with my family. I'll bring my phone with me if you need to contact me, right? Or maybe I'll bring my work computer and I could answer emails, whatever the case may be, but very limited basis, right? That could be your compromise, right? Well, look, already made my plans to be with family. That's what I'm going to do. If you need to reach me for an emergency, cool. If not, I'm just going to be here with the family. In the environment position, we have the Two of Swords. So yeah, so for some of you, this could just be saying that, well, whoever it be the other party, for some of you, it could be you, but maybe it's a little more likely given what we've been talking about so far. Maybe it was the other party. Might have been stalling around making the decision with the situation, right? So that could have been what the holdup was. The other party, or again, maybe for some of you, could have been you as well, was really weighing pros and cons of the situation and then maybe took a little longer than they might have intended to where the opportunity was almost lost. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Nine of Wands. So yeah, so this could just be saying that maybe you have a certain, I feel for the most part, a healthy amount of skepticism around the situation, which is why you're not going to just jump in anything. But yeah, like I said, it seems like this is something that has a bit of a past, and again, maybe it went off the rails in the past, so that's why you were reluctant to open yourselves to it again. But it looks like it can move forward in a better way this time around. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Five of Wands. So Leo energy here. This usually points to conflict. Doesn't have to be anything major, but I mean, in almost all cultures in the world, there's some kind of holiday going on in December. So it could just be as simple as, sometimes people get really frazzled around the holidays, right? They get stressed out. They're trying to close out the year end goals, trying to get ready to think of New Year's resolutions, and trying to deal with, getting to see family. Travel could usually be tricky. So it could just be saying that people are going to be highly stressed toward the end of the month. So if you just keep that in mind, it should be easy enough to avoid this energy, but it could just be saying that, yeah, maybe there's going to be some arguments, things along those lines there that you need to watch out for. Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. So, yeah, again, this is very similar energy to what we were talking about with the Two of Swords there. So, yeah, for some of you, maybe this is around finances in some way. Others of you, could be an old friend, family, romantic partner, you name it, coming back around from the past. But yeah, it looks like something that, again, like I said, you might have resigned yourself to thinking that, oh, it's just not going to happen, right? And now that it's popping up, you're like, oh, okay, now what? So that could be why you're feeling a little bit up in the air about what to do. But seeing the temperance underneath that, which is the major arcana card for Sagittarius, I feel like this is saying that, yeah, as we move through Sagittarius season, you'll eventually figure out what works best for you. All right, from the Four Agreements deck, we have Be Impeccable with Your Word, and it says Enjoy Heaven on Earth. All right, it says impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, success, and abundance. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. So interesting message there, right? Given that, like we were saying, we do have Mercury retrograde currently in your sign of relationships, partnerships. So definitely be a good message in that regard to make sure you're coming across clearly, right? With authenticity in your communication. All right, and from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Observer. Here we go. There's the artwork, and the number is 49. Let's see what this has to say. All right, essential meanings says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. The Oracle's message: most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. That could be pointing to that King of Wands energy, right? Where it could just be saying that for some of you, maybe you guys were the ones being a little stubborn around the situation. And as you take a step back from that, maybe you'll see that from a different perspective as well. The relationship message says, sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take the higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself and others and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So yeah, so for those of you who are looking for relationship guidance, hopefully that message resonated. And for somebody, that could be what that Six of Cups energy is pointing to there, where you might have a chance to clear the air with someone. And the prosperity message says, it's an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing and see your work and your projects from a different perspective. The trick is to connect to the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting the form and timing be dictated by spirit. You may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as you planned. Trust spirit. The perfect version of your abundance is right in front of you. Remain neutral and curious and watch the miracle unfold. So yeah, so for those of you, if this is revolving around some kind of a business decision, that sounds like a positive message there as well. So hopefully that resonates with you guys. Hope you have a good holiday season. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.